What happens if your children are minors when you pass away? This is one of the most important situations to plan for, and it's one that a lot of families don't fully understand until they walk through it. Because when children are minors, things don't just pass to them directly. They can't legally receive or manage an inheritance. So if there's no plan in place, the court has to step in. And that's where something called a conservatorship comes into play. Let me explain what that means in practical terms. The court appoints someone to manage the money for your child. That person has a legal responsibility to handle those funds, and they're required to report back to the court on a regular basis. So there's oversight. There are rules. There are limitations on how the money can be used. And that process continues until the child legally becomes an adult. And then at that point, immediately, everything is turned over to them outright, which may not necessarily be ideal. Think about that for a moment. An 18 or 19-year-old child suddenly receiving full control of everything. For most parents, that's not what they would choose. Most parents want a little more structure than that. They want to make sure the money is used for the right purposes: education, living expenses, opportunities. They want to make sure their child is supported over time, not just handed everything all at once. And they also want to choose the person who manages that process. Without a plan, the court makes those decisions. With a plan, you do. You can create a trust that holds assets for your children. You can name someone you trust to manage those assets, and you can set clear guidelines for how and when distributions are made. Maybe that's at certain ages. Maybe it's tied to specific milestones. Maybe it's flexible based on their needs. The point is, you're creating a structure that reflects your values. I've had many conversations with parents where this really clicks because they realize it's not just about leaving something behind. It's about how that inheritance actually works in real life. It's about protecting your children, not just financially, but practically, and making sure what you leave behind actually helps them in the way you intended. That's what good planning does.